Despite its unique space-themed adventure and diverse cast of characters, Uchuu Sentai Kyuranger remains one of the few Super Sentai series that hasn't become a fully adapted Power Ranger season. And the story talks about these legendary heroes known as the Kyurangers who got these little Kyutamas, little space globe thingies. They're tapped into the constellations and become a really big group of Rangers. Set in a universe oppressed by the evil Jark Matter organization, the Kyurangers unite from different corners of the galaxy to liberate planets and restore hope to the cosmos. A truly groundbreaking concept for Super Sentai in general. Big team, space, a lot of different, humans, non-humans as Rangers. It was really cool. And fans were eagerly excited to see how this dynamic and colorful team of heroes were to be translated into a Power Ranger season. Yet it never came fully into fruition. So join me as we explore the history of Kyuranger's adaptation fails and how it ultimately got into the show. At least a little. Okay. Hey, what's up everybody, it's Este here, and today we're talking about how Kyuranger was forgotten by Power Rangers, for the most part. So let's go back to the beginning, till 2017, and figure out how this happened. According to Den of Geek and speaking to No Pink Spandex, the former senior director of marketing for Bandai of America, Greg Mitchell, would reveal how the American branch of this Japanese toy company got involved with the creation of Kyuranger. Yeah, that's right. For the first time, I think, ever, Bandai of America, the American toy company making the Power Ranger toys, were called in to help with this new team of Super Sentai heroes. Saying, quote, this. We got bought in pretty early on and got to hear what the creative pitch for the show was, which was a space Zodiac cosmos type of thing, which we got excited about. Bandai America got to help out with a conceptual stage to think about what would the Zords be, what could the weaponry be, what would be the Ranger Key or Dino Charger. Bandai America, they go crazy with their toys, so the Japanese probably thinking, let's get some crazy people on board and, got Bandai of America on. And like I said, it was very interesting because Americans and, the whole Power Rangers team aren't really consulted when it comes to Super Sentai on how they're gonna do their show. And it's not like Super Sentai works with Power Rangers so that Power Ranger has an easier time adapting their Super Sentai show. I hope you get what I'm saying, but this was completely different. Common question of the day! What would be your personal story on how Kyuranger got adapted into, a Power Ranger season? My personal story, let's give a big Legends of Tomorrow like crossover. Let's get them for multiple different seasons. We'll get some In-Space Rangers, Galaxy Rangers, SPD Rangers. Screw it. It's now a space show in my mind. Let me know in the comments down below and leave a like to lock in your answer. 2,000 likes and I'll do more videos just like this one. Power Rangers was airing Ninja Steel's first season at the time, so it would be another moment till we found out what was next, when they already had other Super Sentai seasons like Tokyuger and Zyuohger as options for some of the next shows. Also, hey, Future Este, I just found out that Saban had also trademarked Kyurangers back in 2017. Now, that was dead as soon as 2019, but still interesting that happened, and I guess made people believe that they were truly going to adapt the show. But it wasn't until 2018 when the Power Ranger fans got a big scare, and for a second, confirmation that Kyuranger was happening. It was this tweet posted by Nickelodeon's official Twitter account on February 12, 2018, saying, "Good news, Power Ranger fans, we've got new episodes coming through 2021, with a picture of, obviously, the Super Sentai Kyuranger team." Which the tweet is still up, by the way. They never deleted it. They never backed down. Never back down, never what?
Never give up! That's right!
And we can see people in the comment section being, wow, Kyuranger was fantastic. Can't wait for how you guys are gonna do the adaptation. Some Yosha Luckies, some gifts of thumbs up. It was great. People are excited. But a quick look up of the article revealed that season 26 was revealed to be happening, but the title and adaptation was unknown. And 5 days later, Power Ranger Beast Morphers was announced to be an adaptation of 2012's Tokumei Sentai Go Busters, subsequently skipping over Zyuohger, which we did a video about last year, by the way. Go check it out. Also, a day earlier, it was revealed that Hasbro took over the toy license from Bandai of America. And Bandai America, the ones working on Kyuranger, but then you got Hasbro, you got a new team coming in. Hasbro later bought the franchise. They didn't work on Kyuranger, so who cares? Essentially. Then 2019 and 2020 came, Power Ranger Beast Morphers airs, and we would find out in 2020 that Power Rangers Dino Fury was the next season of Power Rangers, adapting Real Soldier and once again skipping Kyuranger and that one Cops and Robbers show. And throughout that time, it was pretty rough to be a Power Rangers fan. You had a lot of Super Sentai shows that were being skipped at this point, and to think that they would go all the way back to 2012 to adapt a relatively unpopular Super Sentai season when you have Kyuranger right there was definitely confusing. And I remember fans back then just kept asking for Kyuranger again and again. It was getting tiring, not gonna lie. 2020 was also the year we heard about an idea for Kyuranger called Power Rangers Supernova, made by the previous global director of Power Rangers, Jason Bischoff, in which during an interview, he explained his idea on how the series could have been adapted, featuring an Alpha 9, an evil Ranger villain, as well as having Rangers who are Zebrian, Aquitian, and even from the Machine Empire. But honestly, when you have an idea that was cool as this one, you kind of give people too much hope. There was definitely a lot of headcanon for how this Kyuranger show could have went down. It definitely had a lot of potential to become a big and amazing Power Ranger season. Jason also mentioned, hey, Blaze and Roxy from Beast Morphers, let's redeem them and have them be Power Rangers too. I thought that would have been a cool idea as well. I did make a whole video about Supernova as well a few years ago, so go check it out if you want to learn more info about this little pitch of the show. Then you got 2021, where Simon Bennett was the executive producer and showrunner for Power Rangers' final years, and was very frequent on Twitter talking to fans of the show, and answering many type of questions. And literally anytime someone would tweet at Simon with a question or a query about Power Rangers, he usually would answer. And that made fans quick to ask, why not adapt Kyuranger? To which Simon replied, too many Rangers in Kyuranger. To which somebody else replied, I'm gonna say it again, Dino Supercharge had 10 Rangers, 2 more wouldn't be an issue. And Simon replied, with that many Rangers, it's nearly impossible to tell character stories of any depth across a season. And yeah, it's true, Kyuranger did have a lot of Rangers on its belt. Dino Charge had those 10 Rangers, it did happen. Congratulations! But it was very hard, especially in the second half of the show, really balancing all these characters, and it was much easier to focus on 5 or 6. And you know, Beast Morphers had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It worked, checks out. I have a theory though, okay? Power Rangers theory. I think that the 12 or so Kyurangers or more cannot beat the 100,000 E-Squad members that are watching right now, huh? Subscribe and ring the notification bell to join the E-Squad today. The largest Power Ranger fan base in the whole entire world epic universe. No theme park. E-Squad comment of the day. Leave a funny comment down below. Put the E-Squad in it and you might be in the next video. That's for sure. I'll send you to space. Then we came 2022, and at the end of the year we found out that Cosmic Fury was happening, a 3rd season of Dino Fury, where the Rangers head up to space and fight Lord Zed. And while it would be using original suits for this new space adventure, specifically being an evolution of the previous Real Soldier suits with some new edits, the Zords and themes of the show would be taken from the almost forgotten Kyuranger series. Sentai fans, rejoice! Woo! Woo! The crowd goes wild! Kyuranger was getting the Die Ranger treatment, and if you don't know what that is, it's when you use the same suits from the previous season and just put new Zords in. Worked in the 90s, might as well work now. But in the months to follow and into 2023, people made fun of the Cosmic Fury suits for being worse than Kyurangers. And for good reason, I would say. But the whole point for the new suits has to do with Simon's previous responses. When you have a 10-episode season you're going to work on, I guess Kyuranger would have been too much because that's a lot of Rangers. So skip giving the Rangers new suits, let's just do some reskins of the old ones, and hey, job well done. And you know, ultimately there were 7 Rangers in the team, but it was very easy because 1 Ranger was evil, 1 Ranger was MIA, so for a majority of Cosmic Fury, they were focusing on 4 Rangers in those 10 episodes. Also guys, did we seriously have to compare the Cosmic Fury suits to the tattooed teenage alien fighters from Brazil, Beverly Hills? I don't know where they're from. Wow. I see the similarities though. But definitely Kyuranger suits would have made it confusing and harder to adapt as a show. But if you think about what Hasbro has been able to do with Dino Fury, they have found an ability to film more original footage their own way, which means limiting themselves purposefully to less Sentai footage each episode. So the next step was obviously new suits. But people were still asking Simon like, hey, you could still put the suits in there, it's still possible. To which Simon said, the script's already written and we don't have the suits. There's your answer, pal. So that dream was ultimately over, and in the months to follow in 2023, fans of the show would theorize which episode the Kyuranger would be adapted, as well as which Zords would be given to which Ranger. I remember some people saying that, hey, Solon might even get their own sword. That would have been cool. But in September of 2023, Cosmic Fury would finally be released, and we would truly see how much Kyuranger was used in the show. In this chart made by the Martian Ranger, we would see that there was an average of 4% of Sentai footage in each one of the episodes, in comparison to Dino Fury that was 13% average Sentai usage, which makes Cosmic Fury beating the record previously held by Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3 back in 1995 for original footage with 96%, with MMPR Season 3 only having 91%. And we have made it to today with Cosmic Fury. We have those 10 episodes of Cosmic Fury. What episodes of Kyuranger did they ultimately use for the Zord footage? Episode 1 we used 51 seconds from Episode 3. Episode 2 would use 49 seconds from Episode 5. Episode 3 just straight up had no footage from Kyuranger. Episode 4 had 41 seconds from Episode 4. Episode 5 had used 56 seconds from Episode 9 of Kyuranger. Episode 6 was a big one, using 2 minutes and 26 seconds from Episodes 1 and 11 of the show, the most Sentai footage being used only 11% of the episode still. Episode 7 would use 1 minute and 2 seconds from Episode 8 of Kyuranger. Episode 8, on the other hand, would use 42 seconds from Episode 20 of the show. Episode 9 would use 1 minute and 40 seconds from Episode 12, while Episode 10 of Cosmic Fury also had no footage from Kyuranger, a fully original episode. Which means out of the, 220 minutes of Cosmic Fury, only 9 minutes and 7 seconds of it was Kyuranger footage. That's so tiny. So by the looks of it, we did have some varying lengths of Zord fights here, just to sell toys, I guess? The only toys were the Cosmic Fury Megazord, and it was also one of the only 3 toys released for the season, with none of the auxiliary Zords getting their own releases. And for only using Zord footage from the first 20 episodes of the series of Kyuranger, a lot of the second half Zords and future Kyuranger Zords that didn't show up in Cosmic Fury. Like the lion-based Kojishi Voyager, the multi-headed dog-themed Cerebrus Voyager, the rocket Ho-Ho Voyager, the star Orion Voyager, among others. But the Kyurangers ultimately did make some cameos in Cosmic Fury, okay? When they were doing their final attack, you could kind of see them in their cockpits a little bit. Ain't that cute? They forgot to edit them out. It was a little bit too hard to do that. But besides that, that was Kyuranger and Power Rangers, about 9 minutes. It was a concept that some would have loved to see make a whole 40-episode series out of. But ultimately, it would just become Zord footage for a 10-episode season. The series had a lot of potential for adaptation, as fans would ultimately think, but the story had other plans, and Kyuranger was ultimately not given the love it deserves in the West. Thank you so much for watching this story of the Kyurangers on Power Rangers. What do you guys ultimately think? They were shafted. Definitely. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Ni Don Fuego. I'm also on Instagram, Not Don Fuego. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.